So, I'm back from, like, I don't know how long it's been, 6 months hiatus, but I really don't care. I just do this when I feel like making a video. But I felt like I needed to talk about this series as a whole, especially when it comes to guys like Jason Tatum and Kyrie. So I was watching Game 3 last night, and I'm going to talk about the whole series in general, who I think should be the Finals MVP, considering each team. If each team wins it, even though we all know the Boston Celtics are going to come away and win this series. But first I want to talk about the Celtics defensively, because that's what I've really noticed in these past games. There is no one on the court that's even okay defensively. They're all like good / great / elite defensively. Drew Holiday, man, that guy's impact is noticed. It's definitely noticed. And in Milwaukee, at times he was the second best player on the team, played better than Chris Middleton, but his impact on the Celtics team is very unnoticed, and people don't give him enough credit. Because in the first 2 games, he was locking Kyrie up. And I'm talking about, Kyrie can't even get to his moves. He can't get to any place. They're not even blitzing Kyrie either. They're showing help, but they're not blitzing him. Just like they're not blitzing Luka, because they're fine with Luka getting 40 as long as they can contain the other players. I've never seen Kyrie struggle like he did in those first 2 games. And of course he had a good game 3. Kyrie did. He bounced back, but wow, that was some great defensive stuff. And then Jaylen Brown, he gets a lot of hate for not having a left hand, or I don't know, certain different stuff that happened in previous years that he wasn't good at. He wasn't good enough 3-point shooter, shot creator, whatever. But first of all, I've always had a problem with Jaylen Brown's off-ball defense, but in this series, I don't have a problem with it because he's elite on and off the ball. So Jaylen Brown has turned into an elite defender, and arguably the Celtics' best scorer in this playoff run. So Jaylen Brown has become such a good player for this team. And like I said, he got a lot of hate early on in his career, and even last year. People were saying, go get in the gym, get a left hand, all this. But first of all, if he's scoring at the volume he's scoring at without a left hand, that just speaks volumes. And second of all, his left hand's not that bad. It's just not that bad. So, all of the credit to Jaylen Brown. He's done a great job with this core. Shout out Derek White. He also gets underappreciated. Bro, he was a castaway with the Spurs. Nobody even cared about him. It's funny how the Spurs, they really make people like DeJounte Murray. Nobody cared about him until he was in Atlanta. Even DeMar, he turned into an afterthought once he got to the Spurs. But yeah, Derek White was always a good role player, but now you're seeing it on the biggest stage. Shout out Porzingis, didn't play Game 3, but Game 1 he was insanely good, and he's always been a great defender. I think people see that now. And there's no holes on this defense. Tatum's a good defender. Drew's, of course, a good defender. Jaylen Brown's a good defender. Derek White's a good defender. Even Al Horford is a good defender. Even Peyton Pritchard is a good defender. Like, I've never seen a team that has this, especially in their start at 5, has this much depth defensively. Like, in terms of on ball and just talented defenders. This is probably the best team I've ever seen in my life. So shout out Al Horford, like I said. Dude's like 40 years old, still playing on the perimeter. Like, he got switched on to Luka because the Celtics are a switch-heavy team. So he got switched on to Luka a bunch of times in Game 3 and held his own. Him and Xavier Tillman were good in Game 3 on the perimeter. So, shout out to those guys. So, I didn't want to talk about it. Actually, yeah, I did. Jason Tatum. Now, Jason Tatum is not playing terribly in this series. He's had some good playmaking games, especially Game 2. He was using his drive to kick it out or find the open cutter or, find the open guy in Game 2. Definitely a great playmaking game from him. But, oh boy, is he hurting his team right now. Now, if this team was the 22 Celtics, I'm convinced the Mavericks would be up in this series if Tatum's playing this bad. I mean, the guy's shooting sub like 39% from the field in the finals, in this finals, and he's shooting 35% in like 2022 and 2022 finals combined, which is like terrible and hasn't been done in the past 50 years. So he's taking shots. He's taking shots that in the regular season is fine. There's no pressure in the regular season for him to make these shots. And he's playing bad defenses in the regular season too. But in this finals, he's taking shots that are just momentum killing. Like, they're in Game 3, the Celtics were up 21 points, and the Mavericks came all the way back to. They could have, I think, 1 point at one point, because Tatum, and a little bit of Jaylen Brown too. They all look a little bit flustered, but Tatum turned the ball over. There was a sequence where Peyton Pritchard missed a mid-range shot, a contested mid-range shot. Then Tatum took a shot over Kyrie. Kyrie played good defense. He missed. Then immediately after, Tatum got the ball back on the post. PJ Washington stole it from him. Mavericks go on like an 8-0 run. That's unacceptable from your best player, especially in clutch. He was not good in the clutch. He was good in the first half. Tatum was good. Game 3, he was good in the first half, but he was not good in the clutch. So all of that resulted in the Mavericks coming back. So Tatum's the number one, but you have to build an amazing team around him for him to win a championship. Like, look at the team that Brad Stevens has built. I mean, the guy turned Marcus Smart and, like, who else? And Malcolm Brogdon into Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. Like, that's insane. So, all I'm saying is, Tatum offensively has to step it up, or at least be more efficient. Because right now, Jaylen Brown is the Finals MVP. And I don't care what anybody says. Jaylen Brown is the Finals MVP. Just like he was the Eastern Conference Finals MVP. Honestly, I think the Eastern Conference Finals MVP should have went to Tatum. But this Finals MVP is Jaylen Brown's to lose. For sure. Especially if they close it out in Game 4. Tatum would have to drop like 50 on like great shooting to win Finals MVP. Or Jaylen Brown would have to like stink it up. Because right now Jaylen Brown has been a better defender and a more consistent scorer. So, I mean, that's just my thoughts on Tatum. I don't think he's a fraud. Don't think he's bad at basketball. But it's just the step back threes. He has no diet of mid-range shots. None. Except when it's like Kobe fadeaways. He only gets to the basket when somebody tells him to, or he has like Kyrie on him. And even then he'll settle with Kyrie on him. The only time I've seen him really go to the basket is when Luka gets on him, and we already know Luka's cooked defensively. So I think that's a good transition to the Mavericks. Luka, Game 1 was good. Game 2, superb first half. Just destroying the one-on-one matchups. In Game 3, he was pretty good. He was okay. I mean, a little bit less than what I wanted from him. And he fouled out. And that cost them big time. Because they needed another closer other than Kyrie. Kyrie was playing well, too. And Luka being in that game changes the whole, like, offensive game plan. Like, what Jason Kidd did not know what to do when Luka fouled out in the clutch. Like, he didn't know the sets to run. He was just like, Kyrie, get the ball, do what you do. Which, it's easy to just go in on Kyrie, hound Kyrie, let the role players beat you. Especially when Tim Hardaway Jr. is in the game. Tim Hardaway Jr. was terrible. Terrible. Maxi Kleber, trash. Trash. The role players have been bad. Derrick Jones hasn't been as good as he was. PJ's been pretty good. I'll say that. PJ has provided a scoring that they needed. Not from 3 necessarily, but in other aspects. PJ Washington's a more dynamic player than people think. And then the lob threats haven't been there either. Lively and Gafford haven't been there. So, how can the Mavericks come back? They can't. I'll just say that right now. The Mavericks have no chance. No chance of coming back. No chance. I'll tell you all their problems, bro. Luka's cooked defensively. He's a cone, bro. Like, they're just getting past him so easily. So that forces the help, and you know the Celtics are gonna drive and kick. And if they drive and kick, they close out. They keep swinging the ball until they find an open 3. And even in these finals, the Celtics have not been making their threes. But they're still winning. I think the talent gap is there. Of course, Kyrie wasn't good in the first 2 games. But I think that's because of the defense. Maybe it was because people said it was because the Boston crowd, it rattled him. I don't think so. I think it's because the defense that the Celtics have, the individual defenders that they have are so good that Kyrie can't do anything with it. And it's unfortunate because the whole world wants the Mavericks to win, but I don't think they can. Honestly, I don't think. Of course, they're down 3-0 now, so. But I didn't think they could after I saw game 1. I didn't think they could before the series, which is unfortunate because I want to see Luka win his first championship. I want to see Kyrie win one without LeBron, because that changes his whole legacy too. The people who are saying Kyrie can't win without LeBron, I mean, if the guy has a championship without LeBron, then he clearly can, you know. But, you know, it's unfortunate. I thought momentum would carry and Derrick Jones would be better. You know, the role players would be better. Dante Exum gave him some. I mean, he played like 5 minutes, but he gave him some pretty good PT, and he has a good dunk in Game 3. But overall, it's just sad to see a team that everybody, the whole world, except for Boston fans, want to win, lose, especially in this fashion where it just seems like even when they get up, they're not really up, you know? And one more thing I gotta say, shout out Joe Mazzulla. People are saying he's a bad coach, whatever, this and that. I think because we already saw Ime Udoka take this team to the finals, and then the talent that they have, we were like, what does Joe Mazzulla have to do? Right? But Joe Mazzulla has made adjustments in this series. Like, he's making adjustments in the series. He's not this dude that's just gonna, like, not do anything, you know? Like, he's actually doing something. He's not just letting them play, you know? So, shout out Joe Mazzulla. Don't know why Jason Kidd would ever give Maxi Kleber any more minutes, or Tim Hardaway Jr. for that matter. But I understand why he put in Tim Hardaway. You know, they needed shooting outside of Kyrie and Luka, and like the occasional PJ Washington 3, but it just wasn't working. Tim Hardaway Jr. was 0 for 5. He was just bad. So I think that's just gonna cap it off. Celtics just have a better team, better unit, better everything, and their individual defense is insane. So we could already give them the championship for real, but it's just sad to see the Mavericks go down like this. But you know, if you enjoyed the video, like it. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably be back. The summertime is usually when I start posting. I don't know why, but you know, this YouTube stuff is fun for me, so make sure to like it, and see you on the next one. Peace.